Here's your host, Clay Nelson.
Hey, this is Clay Nelson Life Balance Hour. Hi, welcome back. Now, last week we had a show called The Full and Complete Communication. What is full and complete communication? And the show got about half done because I was fully communicating. And I had a whole bunch of people call in and say, hey, can you bring the show back next week because we can extend the show, make it longer, talk more about communication, because communication really is a problem nowadays, both with our kids and between husbands and wives and coworkers and dealing with road rage and people all upset and things happening. And we're going into a time of year when people get together and sometimes they need to talk to each other and they don't really want to, like grandma's coming for Thanksgiving, and there's Christmas, and there's all kinds of spiritual holidays, and there's all kinds of things going on. People need to stop and say hello and ask how you're doing, and you need to really learn how to say how you're doing and really listen to what they say. So this show is an extension of last week, and so the name of this show is The Value of Full and Complete Communication. Now, we had, last week we read a few of the quotes that I thought were really good, and one of them I want to read right off the bat again. It's by Zig Ziglar. It says, remember, what you say comes back to you. So whatever you put out, you get back. So remember that, okay? Especially when you're dealing with your kids. Also, I want to say something about, I have a client in Alabama who, on a call with him today, he found out this morning that his 13-year-old daughter is doing crack cocaine in her bedroom, and nobody knew about it. And she was getting the drugs from her high school campus. And everybody thought she was just doing great and getting good grades and everything was wonderful and everything else. And they went into her bedroom and they're checking on her and stuff. And they found a pipe in her bedroom, and they found a bunch of other drug paraphernalia in her bedroom. It turns out when they confronted her with it, she's got a problem. 13 years old, wow. Young lady. And in a town that, you'd never expect, you wouldn't even think that kind of drug was around in a little town like this guy lives in. So communication, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about making a difference to another human being. It's all about checking in. It's all about not checking in like being intrusive, but checking in and let people know that you care and that you want to help. And like this gentleman needs a lot of help. Can you imagine? So,
no, I couldn't imagine.
So, speaking to the mic. So it's just what a scary thing to have happen. Now, full and complete communication. Why have it? Because without it, two human beings can't communicate. It's that simple. All right. So last week we talked about, I asked you a couple of questions. I said, what would it be like last week if you were fully communicated with everybody around you and they were fully communicated with you? What would your life be like? And there was a big, long silence. So, it's like, well, I don't know what to say about that. So it's all about communication. It's all about being willing to communicate. It's all about if there's something you want, you don't have it, you have to ask for it because people can't read your mind. And if something's being done to you you don't like, you have to stand up and say, hey, I don't like this. Like there's a quote here. Where's the one that says, it's all about, let me see. Where's the one about standing up and speaking? I just got to read it. I can't find it, but look for it.
This one right here.
Where is it?
Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill. Okay, now listen to this one. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Now think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. A lot of times people have problems in their life, and it takes a lot of courage to stand up and say, I've got a problem. It also takes a lot of courage to stand up and say, I'm going to help you. So communication, full and complete communication, saying what you need, asking for help, being willing to give help, two people making a difference, first with each other and then with the world. That's really what full and complete communication is all about. Now, I had 6 topics, 6 different hot points on communication. We went through the first 3 last week in last week's show. And I wanted to define full and complete communication is all about communicating what is supposed to be done and by when, or communicating general information or data to a team or to a family. Communication is all about being able to say what you expect in the behavior for your children. Communication is being able to say how you feel or what's hurting. Or how about this one? Communication is very useful when you need a hug. It's time for a hug. So communication is all about, saying, I'm not getting what I need. I don't like what I'm getting, or I want more of what I'm getting, or whatever. So it's all about telling people, I have an itch. Could you please scratch it? One of those kind of things. So communication is all about saying what's going on with you in your life. Now, what happens when you don't fully communicate? Now think about that. Have you ever walked in your house at night and you say, your wife or your husband says to you, well, what's on your mind? How'd your day go? And you look at her or him, and you guys have been married for 20 years, and you look at them like, let me see, I've been married to you for 20 years. You're supposed to know how I feel already. I've been with you for 20 years. I'm walking in the door the same way every night, thinking the same thing. I'm doing the same job. Don't you know what I need? So our expectations of people sometimes far exceed the abilities of those people. So when somebody asks you, how are you? Like, I tell you this, people know me well enough. If I'm on the phone with somebody and they go, how are you doing? You better be ready for a 10-minute dissertation of how my day's going. Because I tell them, I absolutely say, this is what's going on. This is how I feel. This is what I'm having a hard time with. This is what I don't like. This is what I don't want to do anymore. This is what I'm tired of. And this is what I love. And this is where I'm going. And this is how much fun I'm having. Like, Susan, this shirt is hot in this studio. I'm roasted, so I'm just communicating,
Okay.
I'm going to be thin by the time I get off this show. Now, so it's all about getting real straight that without full and complete communication, you can't have what you want. Also, without full and complete communication, you don't ask people what they want. So without communication, how do you get anywhere in this world? If we expect everybody to understand who we are, where we're going, before we understand who we are and where we're going, what's going on here? It's a big, giant zero. So the cost of not having full and complete communication is we make stuff up. Now, how many times have you been in a relationship where you made up something that you sure you were right about somebody else, and then you found out, wait a minute. Now, Susan, you and I never do that, right?
I never do that.
No, we never do that.
I just found out, though, that when I do that.
Yeah, on the rare occasion.
On the rare occasion that I do that, things that I make up are a lot bigger and nastier and uglier than what they really are.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. Or how about this? We're walking across the kitchen, and we both have a plate of food in our hand, and you make up, I'm going to walk on the left side of you, and you decide you're going to go on the right side of me, but I go to the right, and then we click plates. And we both look at each other like,
don't you know which way I was supposed to go?
Yeah, don't you know which way you're supposed to go, for gosh sake? All kinds of things. It's all about living with somebody for 100 years. Now, how much time I got? Got to go on a break. Okay, so now you're listening to Clay Nelson Life Balance Hour. You're listening to session 2 on full and complete communication per request of a large audience. I was really surprised how many phone calls we got. So you're listening to KZSB AM 1290, your Santa Barbara News Press radio station. I'm going to be back here in about 2 minutes. So hang on and phone in here at 805-564-1290. Or if you're streaming, go 866-564-1290. Or you can email me at mediasb.com. So come on back.
Had been sticking out of her body.